Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you. Coming at you with an update for Synchron, because even after the deck just got its latest wave of support in the last selection pack, this most recent one has also given it another piece of follow-up support, the Assault Sonic Warrior. So I'm going to show off some gameplay with Synchron, now with that card included as well. For this game in particular, I'm going to begin with tuning, and we actually end up milling the full speed warrior, which is pretty good for us. It means we can normal summon the junk Synchron, go ahead and revive that, but I'm going to make Scrap Warrior with the Scrap Synchron that's in my hand. That way I can grab the Synchro Fellowship, that'll let me go for a junk Synchron, and there is the Assault Sonic Warrior. This is the new card for the deck. If you control Junk Warrior, Assault Mode Activate, or a card that mentions either, you can special summon it. Of course, a lot of the new Synchron support does mention Junk Warrior specifically. Also, when normal or special summoned, you can either add a Synchron monster or Assault Mode Activate from deck to hand. We're not doing an Assault Mode Activate stuff, we're only doing Synchron stuff. But this card is also a one-card starter by itself. If you normal summon it, then you can add the Scrap Synchron that we just used, use it as a tuner from hand to make Scrap Warrior, to then grab Synchro Fellowship, which can get Junk Synchron, plus the, probably you want the Sonic Chick to discard, then you could extra normal summon with the Fellowship, your Junk Synchron, and full combo from there. I'm going to do something somewhat similar here, although of course we've already started off with a few different cards here. I decided to just go for the Junk Speeder. I did kind of miss my opportunity to search for the Junk Signal, but I decided Synchro Fellowship would get me more bodies, and I don't know. I didn't really think they had a negate at this point. By the way, we actually lost to this coin flip, and our opponent let us go first anyway, so I knew they were on a going second deck. I thought it was going to be Sky Striker with Radiant Typhoon, because I've seen a lot of that more than anything else lately, but it's actually going to turn out to be Sky Striker with Tenpai, as we're going to see once they get to their turn. Now from here, I did grab a Junk Signal off the Stardust Synchron because this was my first game with the build and I actually forgot the Stardust Illumination. So I'm not really able to set up the Stardust Trail here, and for that reason, I'm not going to necessarily go for the Omega double hand grip with the Dissipator Revive. Instead, I'm just going to focus on setting up negates plus the board wipe with the Juraishin. Of course, always want to get that Hyper Librarian online ASAP so you can start getting a ton of draws, and we are definitely going to do so. You can refer to my last video, which I'll go ahead and make sure to link down below as far as like some of the combo lines of this deck, and I already explained how the Assault Synchron combo, or not Assault Synchron, sorry, the Assault Sonic Warrior combo line works, but really when it comes to Synchron, it's nice to know the combo lines to have a starting point, but it's not something that you want to follow card for card, beat by beat, the same every single time. Because how you combo is entirely going to depend on what's in your hand. That's why it's kind of hard to combo with this deck, not only because the lines are pretty long and intensive, but again, what you do hugely changes depending on what's actually in your hand. So like I mentioned, rather than going for a double hand rip here, I decided to focus more on getting the gates plus the board wipe. So I'm going to go for the Juraishin, the Thunder God, and then I can use my Crimson Dragon in order to make the Shooting Majestic Star Dragon, giving me my first Omni Negate. We can level lower the Junkmeister by 1, that way we can go for Herald of the Arclight, there's our second Omni Negate, and of course the Herald of the Arclight Floodgate effect is online here. Synchro Rumble can revive the Revolution Synchron and go straight for the Baron de Fleur. I think I could have gone for more bodies and draws here, but at this point I was running pretty low on the timer, so I decided to just go ahead and end it here. So 3 Omni Negates plus the board wipe is not bad. They're going to lead with Upstart Goblin, so I was like, okay, Sky Striker. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't fire off Droll and Lockbird in response to that, it's because I have Herald up. Herald, of course, says any monster sent from the hand or main deck to the graveyard is banished instead. So I can't activate Droll and Lockbird, because this has to be sent to the graveyard as a cost, and I can't do that. They're going to go for the Majestic Star Dragon first. I'll tribute it with my Junk Signal, which will let me revive the Stardust Dragon. I got that back in case they had like a Raigeki or another like monster destruction board breaker here. So they're going to go for engage number 1, now Ash Blossom. Engage number 2, I'm going to use the Baron de Fleur here. Like I said, at this point, I thought I was still against Radiant Typhoon Sky Striker. They're gonna Book of Eclipse my board, and then show their hand with the Genroku. But I'm honestly not really concerned at all here, for a couple of reasons. One, I've got a bunch of monsters in defense mode that have a lot of defense points, including the Jiraishin, which has 3,100 defense points. And the only thing Tenpai has that can battle over that is a Trident Dragon that has popped the field spell to double its attack points, which obviously they do not have access to. The other reason that I'm not really concerned is, as you can see, I'm at well over 10,000 life points, and even if they can break through all of my monsters, I don't think they'll be able to have enough damage to actually lethal me. Because, like, Tenpai can put together, I used to know the number when the deck first came out, but I think it's somewhere in the range of 13,000 damage on an open board. But if I have a bunch of defense mode monsters at over 10,000 life points, it stands to reason I should be able to live this. Okay, they're going to flip all my stuff up, but all that means is that I'm going to start gaining life points again with the Jiraishin here. They're going to battle over my Stardust Dragon. I'll use Synchro Rumble to prevent the destruction. That effectively just saved me another 2,500 life points there. They're going to Synchro Summon for the Trident Dragon. And I'm going to use my Jiraishin here once the Trident Dragon has activated its effect, and now it is destroyed. So now they can get back their Sangenpai Transcendence Dragon, but it's their only direct attack left, leaving me with 6,000 life points after the end of the opponent's turn. And I feel extraordinarily confident about my ability to win out from here, because now they've already blown through all of their OTK stuff, right? They don't have any more means of actually doing much of anything anymore. I'm just going to go for a quick Junk Signal, reviving the Shooting Majestic Star Dragon. That way I can have something that I know can battle over their monster and negate stuff on their turn. We have some more potential to try to make another Synchro monster, but they're going to concede before we finish doing that. Alright, there's our first duel. Definitely a very back and forth one, which you don't usually get with Synchron. I'll be honest, a lot of duels with this deck are your opponent just conceding to your turn 1 combo line, or you kind of folding to their board/hand traps, but you do get some really fun duels out of it, and this was a good example of that. Let me show you our next game here. Okay, this will be a brief, just one turn going first replay, just to show some more examples of comboing on turn 1. As mentioned, a lot of people will just concede to your turn 1 combo line, but I still wanted to demonstrate some of these turn 1, going first plays here. Love to see a hand with Junk Signal and some other starters here. Tuning definitely considered a starter, because it can grab Stardust Synchron, which we're actually going to do here in a second. Gonna definitely make sure we call by their Fuelos. And I'll go for, as mentioned, tuning and grabbing the Stardust Synchron. Stardust Synchron's going to normal summon, and they're going to chain Ash Blossom, which is unfortunate. Normally I would add the Converging Wishes and start comboing with that, but we do have the Junk Signal here, so I can use that to tribute my Stardust Synchron and special summon Full Speed Warrior. Now Full Speed Warrior can grab the card I was going to search anyway, and I can even summon my Crossroads Sonic Chick off of this effect, since the tuner went to my graveyard. Oh, it's Synchro Fellowship. Sorry, not Converging Wishes. That's a different spell card. I think it's a trap card, actually. Anyway, Fellowship for Junk Synchron and Scrap Synchron. We actually don't need Junk Synchron to make Speeder here, so we can just go ahead and dump that. I can use the Scrap Synchron in hand as a material to make Scrap Warrior. Normally you would add Junk Signal here, but we already activated it this turn, so I'm going to grab Assault Sonic Warrior and use that to get a Revolution Synchron, which can be used as a material from hand. Now I can tribute the Assault Sonic Warrior in order to revive Stardust Synchron and tune it with the Sonic Chick for Junk Speeder. Junk Speeder can now summon out our 4 tuners. And we are off to the races. We're going to use Synchro Fellowship to lower the level of our Scrap Warrior. That also gives us an extra normal summon for a Synchron monster if we need it. But now we can use the Junk Synchron in order to make the Hyper Librarian. And in order to get some more draws and searches and free up some space on my board, I'm going to make Stardust Charge Warrior. That lets me go Librarian Draw, Chainlink 1, Charge Warrior Draw, Chainlink 2, Jet Synchron Search, Chainlink 3. That way you can search for your Junk Meister before your draws, and reduce the chance of drawing it. Okay, now we can go Junkmeister effect, reveal Stardust Dragon to special summon that can add Junk Armor. I'm going to leave Junk Armor on the field after I special summon it off its effects. I'm not going to tribute it right away, because I don't know yet if I need a tuner, or maybe I need a level 2 tuner, or non-tuner rather. So I like the flexibility of the modality of that here. Okay, so we're going to go for Excel Stardust, get a draw off Hyper Librarian, revive the Assault Synchron, and now I'm going to go for the double hand rip, especially because they only have 3 cards left in hand. This will be extra brutal here. So we can go Omega to hand rip once, and then Assault Synchron plus Excel Stardust to make Dissipator. Dissipator revives the Assault, or the Omega rather, and then we can use Omega to rip another card. And if we look at what we took from our opponent's hand, it was Live Twin Sunny Snitch. So if I had to guess, that was probably their only card to actually make plays with, and that's why they only conceded after we banished it. But definitely love to see some more examples of different lines on turn 1. There's just, again, different things you can do. And with the right hand, you can double hand rip and still set up like 3 Omni Negates plus the board wipe. But this was a good example of us pivoting into the hand rips early as opposed to the negates earlier. Because they had fewer cards in hand, I wasn't as scared of like negates or a hand trap or a nib or something. Anyway, let's show off some more going second gameplay. Okay, so here's a going second game against Mitsurugi. I think the last duel is also going to be a going second game as well. I don't remember. We'll see. Anyway. Yeah, so they're going first. We've got the draw on Lockbird. You know, even though it does bump your main deck up by quite a bit, I still really like making room for a good amount of hand traps. We have 12 in this build, and it's a 45 card deck. Although Synchron wants to be a little bit over 40 anyway, because you have so many cards that you search specifically that you don't want to draw. Anyway, they're going to go for the Ritual here, summoning the Habakiri from hand, sending Kusanagi from the deck to the graveyard. This will let them revive, or not revive, rather add back the Mitsurugi Ritual, which of course then they can use to go into a Murakumo. But thankfully they won't get the Habakiri revive or search because of Droll, and that's all from them, so love to see that. And looking at our hand, I mean, we have so many options. Even if they had, like, Prayers face down, we could use Call By on the Murakumo that tries to revive. I'm going to go for tuning here, and I'm actually going to let it get negated, because I value every other card in my hand more highly. Tuning is a nice card, but it's not really needed to combo, and Junkmeister is definitely full one-card combo by itself. They're going to concede pretty early into it, but the idea is that we would special summon Junk Armor here. Junk Armor effects could go for the Jet Synchron, and then we could actually make Herald of the Arclight first, and then use the Jet Synchron to search Junk Warrior. And then, because we haven't normal summoned yet, Junk Warrior would be normal summoned, revive the Junk Armor, and then we go into Junk Speeder. So we have, in this scenario, they've already used the Murakumo negate, which we've already baited out. We have Call By if they have a hand trap, and then we would also have Herald of the Arclight, even if their second card in hand, their last card in hand, was yet another hand trap. So Speeder was resolving there no matter what, and I think our opponent, realizing that, conceded. But we have one last game. Let's finish off with that one. Alright, I'm immediately remembering this duel. I was mistaken. It's not a going second game, but we are going to get hit with some hand traps here. And we're actually going to be up against Vaalmonica. Alright, so we're going first. We've got Junkmeister. Definitely not bad. Don't mind seeing that. We're going to activate Junkmeister, revealing Stardust in order to special summon. Going to add the Junk Armor here. And we're going to activate Junk Armor to summon when we get hit with the Droll and Lockbird. So we do have a couple of options here. We could still go for a Junk Speeder with a hand like this, but we might be a little bit weak to a follow-up hand trap. So I'm going to go Junk Armor for Jet Synchron, and then I'm going to Synchro Summon for level 5. I decided we just need to go for it here and try to power through and go for the big board. But unfortunately, they did have another hand trap, and it ended up being the Imperm. Now, we can still revive the Crossroads Sonic chick here and make some amount of plays, but it's going to be a little bit rough. Alright, there goes Speeder. Jet Synchron effect is going to discard in order to revive. Going to send Fuelos there. I'm going to normal summon my other Junkmeister and Synchro Summon into the Excel Synchron. Now we can use Excel Synchron effects, dump Assault Synchron. And then from here we're going to go into the Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, and that can revive the Assault Synchron. I could have also gone just straight for the Baron de Fleur that I'm about to make here. I also could have considered making Dissipator instead. If I had made Dissipator, I could have revived the banished Jet Synchron. I don't have a level 2 Synchro monster to make with it, but it would have been another body on board. Of course, the drawback being not only would it have been a monster negate instead of an Omni negate, but if I did revive Jet Synchron, there would be no banished cards, and I wouldn't even have a negate up anyway. I could have also alternatively... I mean, I had a couple of different options at that point, right? At the point that I made the Excel Synchron, I could have gone into a number of different things. And part of the reason I wanted to cover this game is I'm still kind of thinking if there was a better option to go for than just straight into Baron. But again, the problem is that we can't draw, we can't search, so I don't know how good trying to go into something like Scrap Warrior would have even been. Well, I know it would have been bad. I could have tried to go for an Omega Hand Rip, but I don't know. I think with the Joel and Lockbird, the Baron is probably the best thing I could have gone for. Unfortunately, it's going to get tributed over with the Kaiju. They're going to activate the Vaalmonica field spell for the Celtrice. We do have this Joel and Lockbird in our hand, so eye for an eye, we can draw our opponent as well. But now we're in top deck mode, which is absolutely not where you want to be with Synchron. Granted, we do actually have one-card combo lines in this deck, which you didn't have the luxury of before this latest wave of support, but yeah, Nib is not going to do it. We'll swing in battle with our stuff, but now they can just go normal summon that Celtrice Vaalmonica that they added. Going for the Invitaire. Invitaire F gets to add the Angelo. Placing the Domino in the extra deck. Now they're going to go for a couple of their Vaalmonica, if I can talk here, spells here. They end up excavating another Invitaire, which they already activated, so they can't use another one here. But Domino can banish the Versaire in order to send the trap card to the graveyard, and now they're going to pivot into Fiendsmith, since of course they do play a White Fiend. Alright, here's Lacrima, and then they're going to synchro for the Fiendsmith's sequence. Which sucks for me, because like now I kind of have to use a Nib here, because there's a good chance they'll go into Caesar next. But also, they still have Engraver in the graveyard, so it doesn't really matter that I have Nib either way, because now what they're going to do is they're just going to activate the Engraver effect. I guess I should have just waited for them to summon the Fiendsmith's Lacrima. That would have been the smart thing to do, right? But yeah, now Engraver can send, and then they can just link it with a token to make sequence. So that was a misplay on my part, but even if I played it correctly, they still could have gone Engraver, Revive, send my Nib. I still would have been in top deck mode, and they have a bunch of cards in hand, the big token. So there was little chance I think I was coming back either way. But anyway, let me show you the build, and then we will finish off. Okay, so here is my updated Synchron list. Overall, it's pretty similar to the last one that I showed in terms of like what's in the extra deck and what our combo lines look like. Again, the main new addition here is going to be the Assault Sonic Warrior, which acts as another starter and extender for the deck, which it loves to see. So I'm playing 3 copies here. I was on 3 Stardust Synchron beforehand, which is also a 1-card combo line, but it's kind of one of your weaker 1-card combo lines, and this is already searchable by tuning, so I cut down to 2 copies as part of my means of making room for the 3 copies of Assault Sonic Warrior. But like I said, otherwise the deck is mostly unchanged. Even though tuning is like not super needed. It's kind of funny how not needed it is in Synchron anymore. I'm still going to rock a full playset because of course it can grab the Stardust Synchron, which as mentioned is 1-card combo line, and plenty of extenders. But if you're trying to budget this deck out and you've pulled a lot of the newer stuff, like from recent packs like Junkmeister and, well, mostly just Chunkmeister. Honestly, tuning is relatively skippable in this deck. Like, if you were to cut the tunings out of this and go down to 42 cards, the deck would still functionally play exactly the same way. Because at no point during your combo line are you relying on, like, drawing or searching tuning to then use, right? So, that is a budget option you could go for. But you are still going to need to devote URs to, like, Stardust Dragon, of course, Speeder, and Librarian as well, as some of these other like high-level synchro monsters. Black Rose is a really, really good going second option, but there are other level 7 dragon non-tuners you can make, like Quibelt, which is a super rare that can also destroy cards. It is a good budget option, but Black Rose Dragon being able to blow up the board is pretty valuable. Another thing, if you really want to try to go down to 40 cards, is, as mentioned, you could cut some of the hand traps, but again, I really like having a critical mass of hand traps in a meta like this. It's really important to have options when going second for not only best of one, but when your opponents are on such powerful strategies as like K9 and Yummy and Dracotail, the Justice Hunter trifecta, very much dominating the meta. So we're on 12 hand traps in total here. The 2 Droll, 1 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossom, that's 6, 3 Fua is 9, plus the Nib and 2 Imperm makes 12. How many starters are we on, actually, now that I'm thinking about it? The Full Speed Warrior is a starter by itself, so 3 of those, 3 Assault Sonic Warrior. We've got 3 Junkmeister, that's 9. Synchro Fellowship times 3 is 12. 15, 16, 17. Definitely not bad. 18 if you really wanted to include a 3rd Stardust Synchron as well. That said, there's not a lot I would cut as far as, I guess, Rhoda as a starter as well, so that is 18. But yeah, there's not a lot else I would cut as far as engine here, including the multiple Junk Synchron. I think it is important to have 2, because you have to search this card off of Synchro Fellowship. But, alright, I think that covers pretty much everything I wanted to talk about as far as the updated list for Synchron. So, thank you as always for watching, super appreciate your support, and we're going to go ahead and move on now to our outro to thank our YouTube members and Patreon subscribers for their very generous support. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.